After almost 6 months without a member of parliament or rather representative at the National Assembly, now finally the residents of Kasipul constituency here in Homa Bay County will have a moment at the ballot to select or rather to elect their next representative at the National Assembly after the sudden demise of the former holder of that particular office, that is Charles Ongondowere, who was shot in Nairobi. And after 6 months now, the voters or rather the electorate at Kasipul constituency here in Homa Bay will take to the poll tomorrow starting 6 in the morning to elect their next member of parliament. And this is where we are. This is the tallying center that will be used for the exercise. For the this is a Gorosare High School that is used will be used for as the tallying center for this particular exercise. And that is where we are right now. And basically, I believe my camera person Yamatiko behind the lens can basically show what is happening on at the ground. This is the presiding officers and their deputies collecting their deployment letters. This exercise is being led by the logistics officer from the IEBC, and the building that you're just seeing there, that is the building containing electoral materials. What's happening that once the presiding officers and their deputies collect the deployment letters, they are breaking out for lunch, as I believe it can be shown on the screen. After immediately they will be done with their lunch break, they will come back here and collect the electoral materials that will be actually accompanied by the police officers to the various polling stations. The vehicles you're seeing behind me here, these are vehicles that have been procured by the IEBC from various schools around here to enable the logistical arrangements here. Like I mentioned, once the presiding officers are done collecting their electoral materials, they will on board these vehicles in the company of police officers to their various polling stations. Let me just run our viewers through some of the statistics regarding the electoral material election, the by-election of Kasipul. This is a constituency with 67,513 registered voters here in Kasipul constituencies. And Kasipul constituencies is divided in 5 wards, and there will be 142 polling stations used for this exercise that is starting tomorrow between 6 a.m. and 5 p.m. in the evening. And there are 10 contesting candidates for this particular election, by-election rather. Among those candidates, we have the son of the former holder of this office that is also contesting actually to replace his father as the next member of parliament for Kasipul constituency. A while ago, we had an address from the Interior Minister, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen, also addressed us. There is the IBC Chair, Ethicon himself, who addressed us, and he mentioned critical issues. One of them is the need to observe the election code of conduct, and that is actually through a caution to the candidates to ensure that they conduct themselves within that code of conduct. And remember, the IEBC has a committee that is charged with the responsibility of enforcing the elections code of conduct. And he mentioned that in any case there will be a candidate that will be dissatisfied with the conduct of their opponent, they should be able to lodge that complaint formally to the IEBC, and the committee that is charged with the responsibility to enforce elections code of conduct will take that matter up and act immediately. Of course, we've seen that happen. Recently, we saw IEBC charging a fine, or rather imposing a fine of 1 million to 2 candidates in this particular contest. That shows you that the IEBC is impartial. Actually, that is what the chair mentioned, that the IEBC, as the referee for this particular exercise, will remain impartial, impartial, just to ensure that each candidate is accorded a fair playing ground. What's happening that after these presiding officers and their deputies collect these materials, they will be taken to the 142 polling stations in readiness for tomorrow exercise. Key to mention is that Kipchumba Murkomen, the CS for Interior, has thrown a caution to the politicians who may be attempting to influence this exercise in whatever manner. He said that stern action will be taken against the politicians and also any other unruly behavior during this exercise. As KBC, we are on the ground and we will be able to update you viewers